You have all day to do one small thing, one email, one form, one phone call that takes 4 minutes. And somehow, you do it at 11:58 at night, heart pounding, furious at yourself, swearing that tomorrow will be different. It won't be. And here's the strange part. You're not stupid. You're not lazy. You probably work hard at things that don't even matter as much. So why does the brain treat the simple, important task like it's covered in something hot? Let me tell you the thing almost nobody says about procrastination. It has almost nothing to do with time management. You don't put the task off because you misjudged how long it takes. You put it off because of how it makes you feel, and that one shift in understanding changes everything. Picture the moment you think about the task you've been avoiding. Maybe it's a difficult message. The second it enters your mind, something tightens. A little dread, a flicker of, I don't want to deal with this. That feeling is real, and it's physical. Deep in the brain, there's a small almond-shaped alarm called the amygdala, and its entire job is to flag threats and make you flinch away from them. It can't tell the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and an awkward conversation. To the amygdala, both are danger. Both mean, get away from this now. So you get away, you open another tab, you clean the kitchen you didn't care about an hour ago. You suddenly remember you should reply to a completely different message, and for one sweet second, the dread lifts. That relief is the trap, because your brain just learned something. Avoiding the task made the bad feeling go away, and the brain loves anything that makes a bad feeling go away. So it files it under, do that again. This is why people call procrastination a problem of laziness, and they're wrong. Lazy people don't care. Procrastinators care enormously. That's the whole problem. If you didn't care, the task wouldn't trigger any dread at all. You'd just do it or not do it and never think about it again. The ones who lie awake at night, the ones who feel sick about the thing they haven't done, those are not lazy people. They are people whose brains have learned to treat one specific task as a threat. There's a name for what's really happening. Researchers call it mood repair. When a task makes you feel anxious, or bored, or not good enough, you reach for the fastest way to feel better, right now. Scrolling feels better right now. A snack feels better right now. Reorganizing your desk feels better right now. None of it solves the problem, but all of it soothes the feeling, and in that moment, the feeling is louder than the future. And the future is exactly where the second piece of this lives. Your brain has a quirk called present bias. It values right now far more than later, even when later is only a few hours away. The version of you that has to do the task tonight feels like a different person, almost a stranger, and you're perfectly happy to dump the work on that stranger. Future you can deal with it. Future you always gets stuck with the bill. So you've got two forces working together. The amygdala flinching away from the bad feeling, and present bias telling you that later doesn't really count. Put them together, and you get the exact loop you live inside. Task appears. Dread rises. You escape. Relief. Repeat. And every time you repeat it, the loop gets a little stronger, a little more automatic, until you're not even deciding to procrastinate anymore. It just happens, before you've made a choice at all. Now here's where it usually gets worse, because there's a second feeling stacked on top. Guilt. You know you should be doing the thing, so now you feel the original dread, plus shame about avoiding it, and that shame is itself a bad feeling, which your brain also wants to escape. So you avoid even harder. People think guilt will motivate them. For procrastinators, it does the opposite. The worse you feel about not starting, the more your brain wants to run from the whole subject, task included. That's the bad news. Here's the part that actually helps. If procrastination is driven by a feeling, then you don't beat it with discipline. You beat it by shrinking the feeling, and the single most powerful way to shrink it is to make the first step almost insultingly small. Not write the report. Open the document and type one ugly sentence. Not clean the house. Pick up 5 things. The dread is attached to the size of the task. Make the task tiny, and the amygdala has almost nothing to flinch from. There's a reason this works so well. Starting is the hardest part, and once you start, a curious thing happens. The dread you imagined was always bigger than the task itself. You sit down to do 4 minutes of awful, and 3 minutes in you realize, oh, this isn't so bad, and momentum quietly takes over. Psychologists have a name for the pull an unfinished task has on your mind once you've begun. Starting flips a switch, and suddenly the open loop wants to close. The hardest door to walk through is the first one, and it's never as heavy as it looks from across the room. Try this too. Next time you catch yourself avoiding, don't ask what's wrong with you. Ask, what feeling am I trying not to have right now? Am I scared this won't be good enough? Am I bored? Am I overwhelmed because I can't see where to start? Naming the feeling does something almost magical. It takes the alarm out of the deep, wordless part of the brain and hands it to the thinking part. And the thinking part is much calmer. The feeling stops running the show the moment you say its name out loud. It helps to know your brain is also lying to you about the clock. We are famously terrible at guessing how long things take, almost always sure they'll be quicker and easier than they turn out to be. So part of you genuinely believes there's plenty of time, that tomorrow morning will be calm and focused, and you'll glide through it. Tomorrow morning arrives, and it's just today, wearing a different shirt, same dread, same escape, same loop. The calm, motivated version of you that you keep scheduling the work for does not exist. There's only this version, the one who has to start while it still feels uncomfortable. And notice what you're actually choosing when you avoid. You think you're choosing relief, and for a few minutes you are. But the task doesn't leave. It sits in the back of your mind all day, quietly draining you, souring the fun you were trying to have instead. That is the cruel math of procrastination. You don't escape the work, you just pay for it twice. Once in the dread that follows you around, and again when you finally do it in a panic at midnight. Doing the thing early is almost always less painful than carrying it. And please, drop the story that you'll do it when you feel ready. You will almost never feel ready. Motivation is not the thing that comes first. Action comes first, and motivation follows. You don't wait to feel like starting. You start, badly, in a small way, and the feeling of wanting to continue arrives a few minutes later, like it always does. So the next time you've got one small thing to do, and you can feel yourself sliding toward everything except that thing, stop and remember what's really going on. It isn't a character flaw. It's an old alarm doing exactly what it was built to do, mistaking a 4-minute task for a threat, and a brain that would rather feel okay now than okay later. You're not lazy. You're avoiding a feeling. Name the feeling, shrink the task until it's almost nothing, and start before you're ready. That's the whole trick. The version of you at 11:58 tonight is counting on it.